Constructing an AP from a dollar and D dollar. Welcome, everyone. Today, we are going to dive into the practical side of sequences. Now, up until this point, we have spent time learning the definitions of the first term, which we denote as a, and the common difference, which we call d. But once we have a firm grasp on what these two values actually represent, we can move on to something much more interesting, using these two parameters to build, or, as we say in mathematics, construct an arithmetic progression, or an AP. So, what does it actually mean to construct an AP? It sounds like a complex term, but in mathematics, it simply means listing out the terms of the sequence in their correct numerical order, using only the starting value of a and the jump value of d that we have been given. In the next few slides, I will show you the logic behind this process and walk you through some step-by-step examples to make it crystal clear. Understanding the logic. Now that we have defined what the first term and the common difference are, let's look at the underlying logic of how they work together. Think of an arithmetic progression as being built through a repetitive process of addition. It's essentially a pattern of repeated jumps. If you know your starting point, which is the first term, represented by the letter A, and you know exactly how much to jump by, which is our common difference, represented by the letter D, you have everything you need to find any subsequent term. You simply find the next term by adding d to the term that came immediately before it. Let's see how this sequence is generated step by step. The first term is simply a. To get to the second term, we take our starting value, a, and add the common difference, giving us a plus d. For the third term, we take that previous value, a plus d, and add the common difference to once more. When we combine these, it simplifies to a plus 2d. Following this same pattern to find the fourth term, we take our third term, a plus 2d, and add again. This simplifies to a plus 3d. As you can see, as we move forward in the sequence, we are just accumulating modes. In the next slide, I will show you a formal step-by-step process you can use to apply this logic to any problem. Step-by-step process to construct an AP. Now that we understand the underlying logic of how an arithmetic progression is built, let's break this down into a clear, step-by-step process that you can use every single time you are asked to construct a sequence. First, we start with step 1. Identify the first term, which we represent as a. This is your foundation. Before you do any calculations, simply write down the given value of a. This is the starting point of your entire sequence. Next, in step 2, you need to identify the common difference, denoted as d. As we discussed in the previous slide, this value is crucial because it dictates the behavior of your sequence. Pay close attention to the sign of d. If d is greater than 0, your sequence will increase. If d is less than 0, your sequence will decrease. And if d equals 0, your sequence will remain constant. Once you have these two values, we move into the calculation phase. In step 3, we calculate the second term, which we call a sub 2. To find this, you simply take your first term, a, and add the common difference, so a sub 2 equals a plus. Moving to step 4, we calculate the third term, or a sub 3. The process remains the same. You take the term you just found, a sub 2, and add the common difference to it. This gives us a sub 3 equals a sub 2 plus. Finally, in step 5, you simply repeat this pattern for any subsequent terms you need. You continue adding to the most recent term you calculated to find the next one. In mathematical terms, we say that the nth term, or a sub n, equals the previous term, a sub n minus 1, plus. By following these steps, you can build a sequence of any length, as we are about to see in our upcoming practical examples. Illustrative examples. Now that we have understood the step-by-step logic of how to build a sequence, let's move from theory to practice with our first illustrative example. Imagine a real-world scenario involving a savings plan. Suppose a student decides to start saving money in a piggy bank. They begin with an initial deposit of $50, and to keep the momentum going, they decide to add $15 every single week. we can represent the total amount of money in the piggy bank at the start of each week as an arithmetic progression. Looking at our given values, we can identify our two key parameters that we discussed in the previous slides. Our first term, which we call A, is the initial amount, which is 50. Our common difference, represented by D, is the weekly addition, which is 15. Let's walk through the construction steps together. First, we identify the first term, or a 1. This is simply our starting amount, which is 50. Next, to find the second term, or a 2, we take our first term and add the common difference. So, 50 plus 15 gives us 65. For the third term, or a 3, we take that second term and add the common difference again. That is 65 plus 15, which equals 80. Finally, for the fourth term, or a 4, we add 15 to our third term. So, 80 plus 15 results in 95. By following this repetitive process of addition, we have successfully constructed our sequence. The resulting arithmetic progression is 50, 65, 80, 95, and so on. Now, keep this logic in mind, because in the next slide, we will see how this same process works even when the numbers are decreasing. Illustrative examples continued. Now that we have seen how an AP works with an increasing sequence in our savings example, let's look at a second example on this slide. This one is a bit more challenging because we are dealing with a negative difference, which will cause our sequence to decrease. Our goal here is to construct the first 5 terms of an arithmetic progression, where the first term, A, is equal to 20, and the common difference, D, is equal to -6. Let's identify our given values first. We have A equals 20 and D equals -6. Now, let's follow the step-by-step construction process we discussed in the previous slide. Step 1, the first term, which we call a sub 1, is simply our starting value, which is 20. Step 2, to find the second term, a sub 2, we take our first term and add the common difference. So that is 20 plus -6. As you know, adding a negative is the same as subtracting, so 20 minus 6 gives us 14. Step 3, to find the third term, a sub 3, we take our new second term and add the common difference again. That is 14 plus -6, which simplifies to 14 minus 6, resulting in 8. Step 4, for the fourth term, a sub 4, we repeat the process. 8 plus -6 or 8 minus 6, which leaves us with 2. Step 5, finally, for the fifth term, a sub 5, we take 2 and add -6. This brings us to 2 minus 6, which results in -4. So, putting it all together, our resulting arithmetic progression is 20, 14, 8, 2, and -4. Notice how the numbers are getting smaller. This is exactly what happens when the common difference is less than 0. As we move to the next slide, I'll point out some specific pitfalls to watch out for when working with these negative values. Common mistakes to avoid. Now, before we wrap up our lesson with the final summary, I want to pause and discuss some common pitfalls. Even when you understand the logic we discussed in the previous slides, it is very easy to make small errors that can change your entire sequence. First, let's talk about incorrect sign handling. As we saw in our second example with the negative difference, when the common difference, D, is a negative number, students often get confused with the arithmetic. It is easy to forget that adding a negative number is mathematically identical to subtraction. To avoid any confusion, I strongly recommend that you always write out the step as the nth term equals the previous term plus D. By explicitly writing that plus sign, you maintain consistency and reduce the chance of a calculation error. Second, watch out for the error of adding the common difference to the index. This is a very common mistake where you might accidentally add D to the position number, which is n, instead of adding it to the actual value of the preceding term. Please remember, the common difference is added to the value of the term itself, not to its position in the list. Finally, be careful not to start your sequence with the value of D. I have seen many beginners mistakenly write the common difference as their first entry. Always double-check your work to ensure that the very first term you write down is the first term, A. Keep these 3 points in mind, and you will be well prepared for our final takeaway slide. Key takeaways. First, remember that the beauty of an arithmetic progression lies in its simplicity. To construct any AP, you only need 2 essential pieces of information: the first term, which we call A, and the common difference, which we call D. Once you have these 2, you have the blueprint for the entire sequence. Second, it is important to understand that this process is recursive. This is just a mathematical way of saying that each new term is generated by simply adding the common difference, D, to the term that came immediately before it. It is a repetitive, step-by-step cycle. Third, keep a close eye on the value of your common difference, as it determines the behavior of your sequence. If D is greater than 0, your AP will be an increasing sequence, where the numbers get larger. If D is less than 0, the AP will be a decreasing sequence, meaning the numbers will get smaller. And finally, in the rare case where D equals 0, the AP is considered constant, meaning every single term in the sequence will be identical. All right, we have reached the end of our lesson, so let's wrap everything up by reviewing the key takeaways from today's session. I hope this summary helps solidify your understanding. Keep practicing these construction steps, and you'll master APs in no time.